I won't deny it, I'm a Southsider, you don't wanna mess with me. Got the police rushing at me, but I'm calm cause I'm smoking that CBD. Said she won't deny it, she's a Northsider, you don't wanna mess with her. Got the police rushing at her, but they can't do nothing to a shamanic healer. Said she won't deny it, she's a Southsider, you don't wanna mess with her. Got the police rushing at her, but they can't do nothing to an educator. Hey, it's the Lord's Day for Monday, so we gotta have fun day, cause it's that one day we could do the podcast. We can make it last, from the future to the past. It's gonna be a blast.
Hey,
What's up, what's up, what's up?
Conga, check your body, baby, to that conga. That's the remix.
Remix!
What?
Remix!
What's up, Brian?
Hello, everyone out there. I'm Brian Tierney. This is the Blessed Life University podcast, the Blue Podcast for short. I'm so blessed to have with me today Tilsa D. Fernandez. She's a Teamster pension fund analyst. She is the founder and owner of Divine Yodi Goddess, Divine Wedding Vows, and co-host of the Cafecito con las Chingonas podcast. She's a mother of 7 beautiful children. Also with me today is me, like, new más mejor amiga. We have Sally Delgado. Sally is the newly appointed Vice President of Operations at Realty of Chicago, which is a thriving brokerage firm with 5 locations, award-winning distinctions and recognitions, and a growing roster at about 270 agents plus and growing. Prior to her appointment, Sally served as an educator with over a decade of experience ranging from nonprofit organizations to serving in post-secondary and as a higher education administrator. Sally credits her arduous childhood and her teachers of the world on her ability to pivot at any given moment. She leads with confidence and a solution-focused mindset. Her proven track record is unmatched, and her innate ability to connect with people set her apart. And I agree with every word of that.
Aww.
She's been involved with Mujeres de Hace. She is an ambassador for the St. Jude Children Research Hospital and served on the Casa Central Auxiliary ELAB board.
Yep.
Beautiful resume for a beautiful person. Sally Delgado, how you feeling? What's going on? How you doing?
Oh my gosh, I'm feeling blessed. I'm feeling loved and just really happy to be here with you finally, right? I feel like we've been playing merry-go-round for a little bit, but I'm so glad that we did it. We made it here on a Sunday. Thank you as well to this lovely lady joining us. It's still Women's International Month, so we are celebrating together.
Yes.
So here we are, Sunday Fun Day, joining you and with everyone. So I'm so happy to be here and share a little bit about my journey and all good things.
Sounds good. I'm sitting here excited as hell. I think it might be the red wine pushing me in that direction. But yeah, when you're as busy as we are, as professionals, you have to calendar stuff.
Yes.
Now, I'm kind of like, you got to calendar it for us to do this. So Sally is one of those folks who's a busy go-getter, busy beaver. She is busy enough that we had to make sure we had this on the schedule well in advance. And I respect her and I appreciate her time. And that's why it's an honor to have you here to hang out with us and chat and just really, pardon me, enjoy what a Sunday Fun Day is all about. It's not even that hard. Like, here's the ingredients. Good people.
Yes.
Good wine.
Yes.
Good conversation.
For sure.
Some light camera action. That's really all you need.
Amen.
And it's the end of Women's History Month here, so
Thank you.
cheers to all the women out there.
Cheers.
2 of the badass ones in front of me right
Salud.
now.
Yes.
Handling business while, like, raising a family. You know what I mean? I don't know what that's about yet. but I will after a while. But I'm not jealous, and I can only
You're getting
learn.
there. You're getting there, right?
I can learn from you guys.
Absolutely. We'll be here to like guide you.
I'll send you the parent guide.
Yeah, they say that you can help people out and give them advice, but you really gotta learn on your own.
You gotta glow through it.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
I'm just wondering, like, for me, do I have to adjust my schedule or my personality to make it work? Like, can I add this into the existing framework of the system that I have in place for my life at this time?
It's hard.
Or is this going to be recalculated around that? Or are they going to have, like, a bump in the middle? Like, what is this going to be? I don't know. But that's the kind of mysteries of the
That's
universe
where your
shit
mindset's
that
at.
I'm wondering about. Because
Parenthood is figure-outable. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Everything will fall in place.
as you can see, I've given it a good bit of thought already.
Yes.
On a
see.
very
scared.
analytical,
He
outer
does. He's like
spacey
drinking
level.
wine, like, oh.
No, I'm drinking wine because that's some fine Italian shit with the friggin' custom stamp on it, and it tastes good.
Okay.
It makes me feel good.
Okay.
That's why.
I got you. You'll be drinking more once the babies get here.
No, but see, that's
Hashtag
what the Fun Day Sunday me would say. The Southwest Realty Board meeting with a nurse who was talking about longevity and where the most people over 100 lived in the world, and what they did, and one of those things was drink a couple of glasses of wine a day. So I'm hoping to celebrate till I'm like about a fucking 100.
There
and
you
not
go,
that old,
Moses.
Not that old nursing home 100, like
He'll
the
be
new
Noah
school,
building arcs.
The new school, they got the friggin' mRNA, they got all this CRISPR and gene editing shit. I'm saying, turn off the cancer gene and fucking turn up the Miami gene, god damn it.
There
you
you
know what
go,
I
there
mean?
you
Like,
go.
that's what I want them to do with my genes.
Okay.
Yeah. But although this was kind of tricky to schedule or to keep it, I love the spontaneity of the whole podcast.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes.
Very cool.
Lots of golden nuggets and things that you probably have to share that I don't know about you. Because I bumped into you a number of times at our holiday party. I've seen you in the office. You were one of the first names that popped up on my radar when I joined Realty of Chicago. Everyone's like, "Oh, you got to meet Brian. You got to meet Brian." And I was like, "Who's this Brian guy?" So yeah, no, there's a lot to be said and a lot to be learned, as well as my partner here, my co-host. And it's always such a great opportunity to learn more about each other. Because we all think we're all in our own silos and that we're different, but really we're so much alike. And so that's where the magic happens.
Exactly.
So,
I agree.
Yeah, like we grew up in the same area, so we might be cousins.
True.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be crazy? Like, oh, yeah, I don't know, that's Tilsa on that side or whatever. Like, yeah. Y'all family. I don't know if you remember that from when we were kids or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's cool, and that's one of the cool things about this podcast too, is that we connect people. You know, like Tilsa has made a few connections now, and I'm like, great. I'm like, I love to see the positivity and all the fruit that's being born from those connections, and I know it's just gonna keep on growing. And I'm like,
Absolutely.
Tilsa's just helping me out. Tilsa's helping me out as a co-host, like, so to make those connections, I can't wait to see what you'll do with the relationships that you've connected with now, like the things you can do together in terms of events and growing and empowering other women. I mean, I think this connection, doing this podcast, increases at like tenfold when people start meeting each other, right?
It
Like,
really does. I mean, I've met so many great people coming on this podcast with you, and it's like outside of my busy schedule, to take that time and kind of get to know. And I feel like the women that you bring on the podcast, like we always have one thing in common, and that is being the best versions of ourselves, but also helping other people, other women. If you see one, reach one, teach one. That's always my motto. And collaborate over competition, and there's so much growth that everyone can have, even being a mom, like just connecting with other moms and sharing difficult times when you're having a breakup, like we were just talking, all those things kind of interrelate with one another. And I feel like it feels more like I'm being supported by the universe. Like, man, you were on the right path.
Yeah.
When you took that leap of faith and look at, I honestly, it's like I got rid of toxic crap and I opened myself up to abundance. And there hasn't been one person that I've met from 3.5 years ago to now that hasn't made a positive impact in my life, and vice versa. So to kind of keep that going, when you're elevated, when you're operating out of a healed version of yourself, you're grounded, you're operating out of love and passion, and you're attached to your soul purpose when you figure that out. And it doesn't matter that you're a single mom. It doesn't matter that you have 5 children or 7. It doesn't matter. Like, you can do all these things. And then you come into a space like this where you're meeting all these amazing people doing the same thing.
And I plan to keep on doing this for a long time in the future. Like, I feel like there's so many good conversations to be had and so many good people to connect with each other. And what you were just saying was like the first breath of fresh air I've had in a long time. Like, to hear what you're saying, like the things you can do with positivity and surrounding yourself with good, positive people. And in terms of helping people out, I know Sally does that all the time. I don't know anybody who probably posts more stuff on social media, and I know it's part of the job as well, but I mean, you do well with it. Like, she's always posting for other agents, like meet this person, that person. As I was getting ready for the podcast, I'm scrolling through her feed, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, the density of your posting and quality of the posting as well.
I would say that from an
within
outsider,
a month or two, there's so
you
much.
can
I'm like,
tell it
Jesus
comes
Christ.
from the heart, and you're not just posting. You know, like there's
Give me
some
the
people
tissue box.
that just
That's why
post.
it's there. That's why it's there. I'm
Seriously.
prepared for every goddamn thing.
He's like, I got that.
This podcast could get hit with a hurricane. We'll be ready to go, goddamn it.
Like, you could feel your vibrational frequency, like, oh my God, she's elevated. But you're not just elevated yourself. It's like you're bringing your entire team on this journey, and you're helping all of your agents. So for someone like myself that's kind of looking into the career, where do I see myself 5 years from now? I'm like, I see myself working with a team like that. Exactly
that's
that.
awesome.
You know what I mean? Because it's on my vibrational frequency wave, and
Yeah.
I can't see myself doing what I'm currently doing 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. And I also feel like if you are not working in an environment where you're constantly being supported, or your leadership is not up there, and I don't mean up there by titles, I mean
Support.
genuine.
Oh my God! Drum roll.
You genuinely care about your team. You just flat.
Yeah.
Like, you just can't. And I one thing that I'm a huge fan of is, like, follow your intuition. How do you feel when you go to work? Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling depressed? All of a sudden, are your blood sugars increasing when you haven't even eaten? It's because you're in a toxic environment, and you shouldn't be working there.
Brian,
I checked off every box. I did.
drink
Love
some
what
more
you do.
wine.
Love what you do. The love has to be greater than the, heart
than the
attack
payout.
and stroke
Ryan,
causing stress.
You need to get booked for a Reiki session with me at 7 o'clock tomorrow, open.
I need the Neuralink plug of fucking Reiki healing into my brain, son.
I will
You know what
create
I mean?
a
I need the
Reiki box
connection like
for
the
you.
Matrix. You know when the Matrix fucking Neo's there and they fucking put the thing in the back of his head, he's in the Matrix? I need that with the Reiki healing.
Aw.
You can achieve
All
that,
in
though.
my brain.
I will be teaching Reiki 101, so.
No, you all said so much goodness there that I feel like I got to come back.
Good, and I'm glad you could, because most motherfuckers would have lost their train of thought.
Yeah, no, I'm a Capricorn. I got that. That's in my database. So first of all, Brian, thank you for creating this platform, and thank you for continuing it, because I feel like these are the type of spaces where people could let their hair down and share, and the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm all about that, because it's a learning process. It's a learning curve, and you're still growing and developing, even in your 40s, even in your 50s, even in your 60s. It's lifelong. We are in it to win it.
Right.
So thank you for creating the platform. And going back to your thought about about giving, that's just who I am. I'm a giver. That's one of my love languages, is to give. And now I'm well into my 40s. I have almost a 21-year-old son. And for me, it's all about everything I've learned coming full circle, and the blessings that I'm getting blessed with. And now I just want to give it back. Like, I'm in a mad hurry to give it back because I don't know when's my last day here on earth. I don't know if I'm going to fall down the stairs. I don't know if I'm going to be in a car accident. So I'm just in a mad hurry to inspire and to drive and create leaders, whether it be at Realty of Chicago, in the community, in the high schools, or, with my son. So I love to give. I love to just give it all back whenever I can in my community, speaking engagements, mentoring, coaching, whatever I could do. It just so happens that I'm at Realty of Chicago, and so it's the perfect breeding ground to give back because our agents are thriving, they're hungry, they have so many personalities, and I get to work with them, through some personal stuff, through some business stuff, or, hey, can you look this over? Can you read this over? Can you do your magic and change the language? So I love doing that for other people. So, and then you spoke about my posts, my social media. For me, it's like my duty. Eddie never gave me a job description and said, hey, Sally, make sure you do these things. It's more like organized chaos over there. And so I just was like, hey, I don't see anybody promoting and marketing and pushing our agents. And the agents are our students. And so I just took off with all of their posts and reposted. And so that's on the daily. And it's time consuming for sure, to reply, to like, to post. And then that we're just growing.
Right.
And I haven't even met some of the agents. I'm like, oh, who's this? Post. So it's just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful place to work. And I do love what I do. I love it there. The synergy, the energy, and the love, it's just all there. And every day I wake up, I get that anxious, I got the scary Mondays for tomorrow, but it's the scariest in such a good way because I know that tomorrow I'm going to get hit really hard, but I'm going to show up 100% to do my part to make sure that we could get through Monday in one piece. So I love Realty of Chicago. That's for sure.
Well, I imagine there's enough love there to go back your way to kind of support you through a crazy Monday. I mean, Mondays are crazy. Tomorrow's going to be a crazy Monday for me. I think I have 4 or 5 closings. That after this podcast is over, I'll try to get things kind of ready for her.
Yeah.
Because nobody will be bothering me at that time. So I can do it in peace and quiet, or I can do it in chaos tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So, just try to be prepared for the next day. The end of the month is coming up. It's a very busy time, and, it is what it is. But you have this energy, and it's, clearly you appear to have, stayed in good shape and taken care of yourself throughout the years. That you have this energy and this passion to bring. I mean, like when you're good mentally and physically, like that's a killer combination. You seem to have both pretty dialed in. So good for you for that, and being able to bring that same energy to the people there, and just to share that passion and to promote other people. Because, I think you kind of like self-promote without trying too hard, you know what I mean? And, but you're able to then take the energy where, like, if you were trying too hard, you wouldn't have that same energy, I feel, to give the agents, and that's good, expose them and their successes. And I think that's one thing, and I don't even know if there's really even debate about this, but I think that's one thing that Realty of Chicago does better than any other brokerage out there. And that's no disrespect to anybody else, because I work with some elite people in the business and brokerages, but which I have the blessing and pleasure to do. It's crazy to think that I'm doing that, but in any event, you guys have your social media really dialed in, and it's like so many eyes see like the new listing that's out there, right? And your own agents are like, replying in DM me, and then anybody else, they're already replying in, and it's just like everybody's sharing everybody's stuff.
Yes.
And it's moving these properties like this, and it's just the sheer number of what I like to call the rock army, like Army Strong. Like, we want you to join the Realty of Chicago Army. Like, that's kind of what they're doing, you know what I mean? But they're it's this great social media network that makes marketing like flawless and effortless because there's so many eyes on it all the time, and they do that very well, and so that's why they're where they are today. So good on them for that, you know.
Thank you. Yeah, we're really proud of that. And it's taken, you know, all of our managing brokers, our leadership team to really hone into that space, right? To make sure that we're reaching the masses and get all of our agents on the same page. So our media team and our graphic design team are all in-house. They do an amazing job for us. We are a very small team, believe it or not. Our leadership team is only about 9 of us. There's about 9 or 10 of us. And then as a media team and graphic design team, there's about a team of 5 or 6 in total. So, you know, to capture all of the headshots, the listings, you know, every week there's an open house, and to capture all of those designs before the weekend, it's really magical to see it happen. But we try to hold our agents accountable to utilize social media and the platform because it's free. And so I do my best to not only give them a platform, but also the people that they work with, right? Like yourself, so many attorneys and lenders and people in the community and are partnering, you know, different collaborations that we're doing. Just to share that information, right? So like there's so many, because it's Women's International Month, there's been so many events going on in Chicago, and they'll say, hey, Sally, can you post this? Sure, I'll post it. You know, because if we can't participate or we can't attend or it doesn't have our logo on it, doesn't mean that we're still not uplifting our community and giving back in another way. If it just means posting something. So we're happy to do that. We're happy to elevate, you know, other businesses and organizations as well.
How long have you been with Realty of Chicago?
May 24th will be 1 year, my birthday.
May 24th? You started
Yes.
there on your birthday?
No. Will be my birthday anniversary.
So not your, like, literal figurative or your actual birthday. but
No,
your
I'm a December.
anniversary.
I'm a
Okay.
December baby.
It's all good. The reason I mention it, though, was just because I went from not knowing you to knowing you in a very quick amount of time. Like,
Yeah.
Because, like, to me, when you were working at Morton, you were unknown. I didn't know who you were. I didn't know Sally Delgado existed. But then within that short time period of you being there, like, I know you, and I think everybody knows you. Right?
That's
Everybody
awesome.
within Rock, and then everybody in these organizations and nonprofits outside of that. Like, you're just this little shooting star that's just kind of like, shh, notice me as I go by.
Aww.
And you're gonna have to
I
move
feel
fast
like you're
to
the face
catch
of
up on me.
Realty of Chicago.
She is
Oh,
right
I
now.
love that.
I mean, well, Eddie is
We
too.
love that. We love to hear
But-
that.
Well,
Hey, y'all.
Hey, we're gonna
y'all-
go on all the bus stops and
that's what
just
I'm
put my
saying.
sticker
But
on
let's
it.
do this. Let's have a top producer competition between you and Eddie, or you and, well, probably it has to be Eddie because I don't really see David's bus stop stuff too often. But let's see if you put you on there as the face of
See what
Realty of Chicago versus- just a little experiment. Just let's look at the numbers and see which one we should go with. The
That
numbers
is
don't lie.
hilarious. Oh gosh, that's so funny.
that's a good project.
Competition
Yeah.
creates growth.
Yeah, no, that's hilarious. Actually, David was our number one. He actually outshined Team Eddie last year.
I don't
You
know
were
if
you were at the awards.
Monday's going to be a lot tougher when you say this on the podcast, and then if they actually listen to it later, they'll know about it, and they're
It's all
probably going
good.
to
It's
listen
all-
because you're there. You're
It's
on
all
there.
good. David brought in I think $27 million in sales last year.
Well, he was in total number of transactions.
Yeah,
also
in total
highest
number of
as well.
transactions,
So good
yeah.
for David, man. He's a hard worker.
Yeah.
David was kind of the one who brought me in closer with Realty of Chicago, and we used to do our St. Patrick's Day parties, our Cinco de Mayo parties in Pilsen, and all that. But to see him do what he's done in a few short years too, and then he brought over Tino Aguirre and his
Yeah.
brother Miguel, and I mean it's just
Yeah.
you're talking about people who got these positions within Realty of Chicago because they are leaders. I mean, obviously they recognized it right away, and their numbers don't lie either.
Mm-hmm.
And David and Tino used to work together at Jewel Osco, and they were like managers. Or something. I was like, dude, I can't see myself doing this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
They're like, it's a fresh start because like Joey Diaz was just talking about his podcast this last week about how there's like nothing like being in sales and to keep you motivated and to keep you like growing and just being comfortable with the uncomfortable of like not knowing when the ups or downs are coming or how to work through it. And that's the choice they made, and they fucking did awesome. I'm proud to call those guys my friends, and I love learning from them, you know, and growing with them as well.
Awesome.
And they've been loyal to me. Like David, he has his own kind of attorney he works with, and once in a while we'll do a deal. But Tino we've been like together since day one. Like as soon as he got in the business, we connected through. I don't know if it was the Boys Club of Cicero charity event. That was another thing that Realty of Chicago brought me in and connected me with, or if it was another event recently when he first got his license, but we connected right away, and then I got the pleasure of knowing his brother too, and they're just great people. They're some of the best people I work with. Really professional, really about getting the deal done, and they impress me with their communication. I'm like, are you doing anything else other than texting, motherfucker? Because but he told me a secret, and I don't want to let it out on the podcast how he does it. So whatever, you got to keep some of the things like as a trade secret or a trade, whatever.
Trademark.
Yeah, trademark type of thing. So. But yeah, it's crazy the amount of communication he does. So there's a lot of good people over there, and also people like he's doing the training and all that over there. So he's trying to help, you know, spread his knowledge of the experience he's been through to like, you know, let the younger agents know like there's a lot of things you can run into and just be ready to work hard and try to keep emotionally strong through that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When something bad happens in the deal.
Yeah, he's got his new Romeoville office.
Nice
it's
office.
A really big space. Yeah. We're hoping to do a grand opening later this summer, so that means I'll see you at the barbecue.
Out there in that backyard dancing.
Yes, the backyard is so nice. But there's a lot of talent and a lot of gems at Realty of Chicago, and that's what I've come to learn. Like, just as much as we're recruiting a lot, there's those emerging agents that are like skyrocketing, and then there's those top producing teams, and gems like Lala, Jose, Team David, Ainoa, and her team. I mean, they're just doing such amazing things, and it's really magical to watch. You know, I get to take a back seat and say, "How can I help?" Because they're just doing amazing things. So it brings me so much joy when I see them working collectively towards this amazing goal, and then that's where I start learning about systems and things that we need in place to make their job more efficient. But yeah, it's just beautiful to see somebody like Cindy Mesa, who's a top producer and a friend of yours.
She's one of
and
my closest friends.
Has a family, a big family to take care of and support.
Who's
has
a real professional. Like,
real professional.
She's not slacking off. Like,
No.
I've invited her over here to watch the UFC fights. It's like, I still have showings. I respect it, girl. And she's like a humble servant and a stout servant to have on your side as well. And she cares, and she wants people to see the success that is out there that they can have if they just work hard and have a good team of people to help them to get to their destination. She just did it. She bought a beautiful home in the western suburbs, and good for her. And
now she gets to work out of the Romeoville office because it's closer. So life is much more better for Cindy.
Right. Yeah, because real estate is growing into that area. There was a lot of times in the last few years that none of these Southside offices had offices in Bolingbrook or Romeoville or whatever, and they have them now because they know it's a growing community, and also with the Mexican community too. It's not just any one particular. It's just growth out there for everybody, white, Mexican, whatever. And so it's great that you guys have that office. I've been there several times now for the past few events. Like I was there for, at Thanksgiving time, they do a yearly turkey giveaway, which is old school, kind of like Capone type of shit from back in the day, right? Fucking hurting during the pressure, you got that fucking turkey in every pot. We all got to fucking eat, right? And it hurts. It's that fear of missing out with the goddamn without a turkey. So they help out with that. I sponsor every single year since I've met anybody from Realty of Chicago. We've been doing it every single year. So I did the last couple out at the Romeoville office. I used to do them with David, but Tino and I got really close, and now I've had the pleasure. I've been invited out there, so I'm looking forward to the next events coming up and the grand opening, because I know they'll acquire some space, but it's a while till it's ready to really present to the public. It's we're working on here. If you need to come and have a meeting, but once we officially announce it, we want it to be they got everything arranged, got the furniture they needed, got all the work done or whatever. So that'll
Yeah.
be cool.
Yeah, so
Real cool.
we're growing, and then we're moving to our new headquarters too later this year.
They
God
change
wi-
every few years.
God
I'm like-
willing.
when I started with Realty of Chicago, they were in that office like a few blocks back that Bay Equity has now, which is like perfect size for them.
Yes.
But they started growing and bringing in like there was good agents that
Yeah.
were really working hard in those years. They were like friggin' growing.
Martin
They-
was one of them. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's been there since day one. But they got too big for that office, and then they moved down to this one. And they put a lot of money into that one. I'm like, dude, you
Yes.
guys have barely been here a few years. I
3
was at the
years, only
grand
3
opening
years.
A few years
Wow.
ago. And you're fucking leaving that one to the next one.
Down
I'm like,
the block.
I'm like, I don't know.
Exponential
whatever.
growth. You guys
It's
are just like
crazy
booming.
Yeah.
That like they put that's such a nice office. The current flagship office is a beautiful
It's
office.
beautiful.
And it took them a while to get it that way. So I guess we'll talk another day about what's going to happen with that office when they have the new one.
Mm-hmm.
You already have that beautiful deck out on back. I don't know if you plan on like Bay Equity is now moving on up to the east side. Like
that's
Bay
funny.
Equity's leaving that spot.
Right,
Going to
they're-
the next
they're
one. It's like a
taking our
turtle
old
shell
spot.
game. Like when you outgrow the first shell, you got to get the new one and the new one.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Eddie's gonna do with the building. Probably.
And even if you were, you couldn't tell me. I'd imagine.
Yeah, I
would,
mean,
would you like some more wine?
No, I'm good. No, I don't.
What I meant was just so you would tell us. Maybe this
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
truth
yeah.
serum that you need.
Maybe after 4 tequila shots.
Whip out the tequila.
Yeah, I don't know what he's gonna do with the building. Probably sell it.
It's so nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The exposed brick, the hardwood floors.
They had a lot of work done with the plumbing in there to make it like do the overhead, underhead sewers, whatever the hell that
Yeah.
shit is, just to make everything perfect with
Yeah.
that building. So whoever
And-
gets it is going to have a great space.
And last summer, Eddie added on the deck. He's so crazy. I'm
That
like,
was
why are
cool.
you adding
That's
the
how
deck?
we
We're
met.
moving. He's like, no, we got a
It's so nice,
barbecue.
though.
And I was
I
like,
mean-
oh my goodness.
Honestly, you could have so many different types of businesses there.
Yeah.
You really
You
can.
could have,
Yes.
You could have like a really nice like Italian restaurant or Mexican restaurant, and like literally you have the stairs you go up, and then that lower office you have some private little rooms where it's like
I
you're
got
taking-
gold
you're taking-
watches here.
Right?
Well, you're taking
Have all these
your
And I got
esposa.
Similac over here.
Well, it's like little private fucking areas where you could do a bomb ass restaurant out of there.
We've
or
utilized
another-
the
but-
space.
It's
But
a
the thing
vibe when you go in there. It's a vibe.
Yeah.
Like really nice. Like the energy flows
Modern,
very
modern,
well.
young, like clean.
Yeah.
The only thing is, like, what if another competitor of yours was like let's say, friggin' one of the brokerages is a little farther west down, friggin' Cermak
Yeah.
goes to you guys and is like, can we use that one? Are you going to be cool about it?
I
Because it's
mean,
set up
that's
for
on-
realty
that-
already.
That's on Eddie.
I don't know. I don't think he would do it, but whatever.
I'm
not
pretty
gonna
sure
try to
he
get in
would.
that guy's head right now.
I'm pretty sure he wouldn't agree to that. But
Probably, right? Just out of a matter of probably general business principles.
Yeah,
or-
yeah. Just conflict of interest.
Yeah, conflict of interest makes enough most
Yeah.
sense.
But yeah, it's a beautiful building. We're moving right down the block to a 20,000 square foot facility.
Wow.
It's 3 floors. It's gorgeous. It's down to the bare bones right now because they had to like completely gut it. But I think I've walked through it at least 5 times.
Have you been there?
No.
Yeah.
That location?
They
know-
had his birthday party there, and it was a great time. It was a
And
lot
that
of
was
fun.
just one section,
I
Brian.
had a wedding.
Yeah, I mean,
That
I
was
don't
just
know
one
how-
section.
'cause you said I didn't even know there was multiple floors. Like I thought it was just one big ass space. And the
Yeah, I
ceilings were pretty high in
know.
there already.
So that section that you were in, there's 2 more on the sides, and then you go up on this side to apartments, which are going to be offices, and then there's a whole nother suite that's just as big. So it's
It's just
huge.
wild,
Plus the patio, the outdoor patio.
Wow.
That's
You're gonna have
about
another one like the one in the current location.
it's about 2.5 times bigger than that one.
Really?
Yeah, and there'll be a fire pit and all.
I can imagine you guys are going to outgrow that space as well.
I mean, that'd be awesome.
Well, they have other offices too. Like I
Yeah.
think that'll distribute throughout. But like that's the question then. Like since you have multiple locations, you'll probably open more as the future goes on.
Yeah.
Will you get to a point where the flagship's big enough, or is it just gonna be? We got the big
Right.
building that was on the corner of fucking Cermak
We're
and whatever.
moving to Soldier
We got the
Field.
whole big.
No, this is it. This is Eddie's finale. So this is the biggest office,
Incredible.
the headquarters where we're having our trainings.
It's got some like San Antonio type of architecture.
I
going
love
onto
it.
It feels like the fucking Alamo or some shit.
I
like when
love
I first
it,
saw the building in the front, it
yes.
was kind of old school like that. It was cool.
And they
as
still
fuck.
have to clean it up. You know, they got some limestone there.
I'm sure
that
he's gonna be doing all sorts of shit. She
It's-
said this is his finale. Like this is like the what do they say in Latin? Like magnum opus or something like that. Like this is the masterwork here.
Al Pacino and El Paraíso. Yeah, it's a beautiful building. I love it. And there's a couple parking spots too, so
Nice.
that's always a bonus. But
Hopefully you got one earmarked for
I
yourself.
mean, I just got to put my own sign on it.
Do it.
Reserved for Sally.
Yes.
But it's gonna be a state of the art facility with a whole playpen for the agents so that they can just de-stress, have a drink, go to the patio, be in the phone booth and make that call, get that clear close.
Nice.
With Brian.
Yeah. We got 20 CTCs and go. There's only one of me.
Right. There's gonna be a massage room.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop by
Yes.
more often, you know.
This is going to be everyone's favorite place to come visit. Yeah, so I can't tell you all the secrets, but it's just going to be
You might
like.
have said too much already. What if you did?
No, don't worry, Brian.
Include a
target?
meditation room.
Yeah, we do have a nursing room.
Beautiful.
So we'll have a nursing room. There'll be top producer glass conference offices. I mean, it's just gonna be beautiful. That's all I could say. If you've been to the new Restoration Hardware in Oak Brook, it's gonna kind of have that vibe, that sophistication. So we're really, really excited, and we hope that we make it there on our due date, which is October 27th of this
Oh,
year.
shit.
I
Okay.
know. So
I didn't
it's,
know how soon or what it
it's
was
go
coming.
time. There's only like 213 days left.
Well, they've been working hard already. Like,
They
I've
have.
seen the pictures. Like Liza was posting a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
on that,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I could see like they've already done a lot of work, and then they still have all the way to October 27th to go. If they're good to go, it might not be like the
Yeah, I
Thanksgiving
mean,
or December.
I don't
type.
know.
That's wild. It's a lot of work.
It is because there's so many delays with shipping, inventory, COVID. Stuff is still
No shit.
overseas.
They screwed us good with this COVID, folks.
I mean,
They let them shut that shit down.
plywood's expensive.
They let them shut that shit down. They're claiming the ships are sitting there. They don't have enough labor. Something happened to the supply chain. It's like, did COVID make us like way
I
dumber
don't
than we
know.
were
I
before? Like, how
know.
come we can't make this shit run? There's people. There's fucking jobs available. There's fucking no more government checks coming out. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When is the shit gonna get there so we can have a fucking grand opening?
Yeah. Well, to be continued. Hopefully
I
we
guess so.
hopefully we get there. But time is definitely of the essence right now because October is
Right
just around the corner.
Stop scaring me because even this podcast we're doing right now is this like fleeting moment in time that goes by in a flash. Like, this is one of the memories you had in that 5,000 days you got on this earth or whatever the fuck, right? It goes by so quick. You're talking about October already. I haven't even had Brian's big ass birthday bash in June yet. Big ass birthday bash. You know
All
what I mean?
right. What number? How?
38.
Whoa, warming up to 40.
You gotta do it big before you get to the big 4. Oh, bro. So I wanted to do it last year, and I can't remember what happened. Something with Sarah's work or fucking some travel plans we had or whatever. But I'm like, I'm not doing this again. Like I want to celebrate my life while I'm living.
Yes, not
Amen
after.
to that.
You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
I want to bring people together now and like fucking, hey man, like you're like un buena onda, right? Like a fucking good dude, right?
I love the Spanish.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like that's
He's picking it
who
up.
I want to be.
Do
so
it.
I want to freaking
do it.
while
Put it on the calendar.
Right?
You put
Manifest
it on your
Yes,
calendars.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Saturday, June
send
25th.
me the invite.
Mi cumpleaños es 26 de junio, pero I'm having it on sábado, the friggin'
El sábado.
yeah, 25.
Okay, the 25th of June.
25th, yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. So you guys keep that date in mind
I got you.
because I
It's
want
on
to
my
bring
calendar.
everybody together. Dalton from Rock said
Yeah.
he would make carnitas for me. Just said I
Oh,
had to buy it. And I've had his
Dalton.
carnitas. I was at his birthday and the friggin' food was delicious.
Oh, yeah.
Well, him and his mom, I think, make it or whatever. So he said he would do
Nice.
that for me as a favor. I got a friend who's got a taquero, a couple of the bartenders that normally work with Rock.
We're
are
going to
be
eat
out
well here.
I know.
Louis Diawa from
Yes.
Studio 63 is going to help supply a
He's such a
security
great
guard
cook.
for the front and the back. I mean, I have to pay for all this, but it's going to be Eventbrite. Only people who have a ticket have to show it at the front, because when Sarah and I got married here in the yard, people were trying to get in, and they're like, is this place for rent? Or like, you have people coming up the back, hey, can I have a beer? Can I come join the party? Like, no, this is a private thing, dude. This dude's getting fucking married. Like,
Excuse
this
me.
is the most private and sacred of events. Like, if you haven't known me, since the old me, the OG, from like,
You're not
Brian from
coming
the
in.
block back in the day guy, that you're not on this list. You know what I
Right.
mean? It was
Bye-bye.
during COVID. It was like, under 60 people or something we had. We didn't want to go crazy because we didn't want to give each other zombie brain COVID or whatever the fuck the thing was
Yeah.
at the time. But anyway, yeah, so that's that. But this energy you bring, what you bring to your team, when you were born and raised, like, is what from your like upbringing contributed to where you're at now? You know what I mean?
boy.
Doing this and helping people out like you're doing.
That's like for another podcast, but
You said you moved a lot. You said you
Yes,
moved like 7 times, which you seem like a very stable person for somebody who's kind of been jumping around a lot.
No.
in your
There's no
youth.
there's no stability.
How can she say that? And she has to laugh because she knows, like, she's the vision of a professional, right?
Oh, you're
She's
so sweet.
achieved this level of education and all this stuff, and has went from the public sector to the private sector and is just killing it and has the energy for it. Like, it was like she was made to do what she's doing right now. So for somebody who's kind of fulfilling their destiny, I just wanted to know, like,
Yeah.
how
I got
moving
here.
around, like,
Yeah,
how
talk
did you
about
get that?
Sally before today.
Oh,
Like, we
gosh.
want to talk what neighborhoods you grew
Yeah.
up in,
Yeah, we see
your
the finished
family.
product.
Right.
We see the hustle. We don't know the struggle.
Oh,
Yeah.
let me
That's
tell
what
you
we're
about that
trying to-
struggle.
Yes.
That's what we're trying to
Let
find
me tell you.
out. You're a jewelry saleswoman or what?
No, so I am a native of Chicago. I was born in Hartford, Connecticut, in a really rough area. Hartford ain't no joke. So by the time I was 2 years old, came to Chicago. My dad raised both myself and my sister Jacqueline since I was 2 and she was 4. My mom kind of just checked out and said, hey, take the girls and good luck.
So it's just you and your sister, or was the family?
Yes, for a very long time, and then that changed. But during that time, my dad was just like, there's like we said before, there's no parent manual, so he was just kind of
Right.
like figuring this
Learning
out.
on the job, which most parents do.
And trying to make a living and watch his girls, and how am I going to do this? How am I going to navigate this? Who's going to take him to school? So he forgot all about that. He forgot all about, the pink dresses and brushing our hair. And so we had to kind of grow up really fast. So while he was trying to figure out his career and going from job to job, I ended up going to like 6 or 7 different elementary schools. So I got
It's a
pulled
lot of
in.
change, new friends every year.
Got pulled in, pulled
Maybe
out.
that's how you got so good at being social.
Networking, right?
Yeah, networking.
fucking-
You were
and-
networking
best
since
friends
you
for
were
like a
little
year.
Girl. This is
Gotta
part of
go.
your DNA.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely contributes to my success today, just being able to make quick decisions or pivot or adjust to, the environment. When there's chaos, when there's a problem, it's, not a shock to me at all, because that's pretty much how I grew up. Logan Square, Humboldt Park, all over that town. Before years later, I would end up at, the South Side, and that's where I went to Curie. But
Curie condors.
Yes.
Watch out for them condors. They will fuck you up, son.
we will. But I mean, it was a rough childhood, as you can imagine, without a mom and anybody to guide you, teach you, show you. It was like rough. It was like military style. Like whatever dad said goes.
What line of work was he in?
A little bit of everything. Back in the 70s and 80s, it was factory work, so he worked.
You get in where you can.
You get in where you can, and that's what he did. He managed to get his associates, dragged us to school with him as well.
Aw.
I remember those days, just falling asleep on the desk. And then he ended up working with the Chicago Transit Authority. So CTA has...
My dad worked there too. Back
Yeah.
in the day.
My dad. So my dad ended up working there a long time actually with CTA. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good steady job, and
It really is a good baseline. Plus,
there's
it's
growth
unionized
opportunities,
Yeah.
workforce.
yeah.
Pay is great. You can't, like there's certain things that a lot of parents have to worry about when you join the union workforce. That's all pre-negotiated for you. You just show up.
Yeah, you just do your job. So yeah, that's really kind of when things actually took a turn for the better, because now he had stability, he had better income, and that's kind of where the
Good health insurance, probably.
Yeah,
for
good
you
health
and your
insurance.
sister.
But before the CTA, it was the Wild Wild West. It was rough, we just had to figure out things a lot by ourselves. Eddie Garcia always talks about, his success and how he grew up, poor. And that was one of the first things that Eddie and I connected with. It was just like our backgrounds. Because, I've been poor for as long as I can remember. We were in those government lines getting food. We were always on food stamps. We were always hungry. I talk about that in the Inspired Latina book that comes out later this spring.
And we can talk about that, because that's
Yeah.
some of that. There's another book we
Yeah.
can't really talk about yet.
Yeah, there's
but
two
that's the
books.
only thing.
I'll share a little bit about each one. So 2 books are launching. I'm a co-author in both books. Inspired Latina by Fig Factor. That one's just a collection of stories of resilience from women, here, internationally, that share their stories in that collection. And then the other book drops the following day, May 4th, which is a book about Latinas in real estate. So it's industry specific. So both similar in style, but different types of categories. But I share a little bit about myself in both books. So, it's like if you read one excerpt, then you definitely need to get the other one, because you're going to want to know the rest of Sally Delgado.
So they kind of complete each other, or they are part of a series of things that will keep on going. And
Who knows? Who knows?
Either one
I'll
will be
see you
good.
on Netflix.
Yeah. Sometimes the series is only 2
When
parts.
does
and
this book
sometimes-
launch, first of all?
Yeah.
I need the first copy.
Yeah, the first one, May 3rd.
Okay.
And you're both welcome to come to the launch party, which will be at Gibson's in Oak Brook. And you'll see
On May 3rd, when it
on
the
May
day it comes
3rd,
out?
yes.
That's my mom's birthday. Yeah, that
It's all good.
That's the only thing that could trump what you're telling me right now.
It's
So
all
sorry.
good. It's all good.
My
You're
dad,
still
the
gonna
funny
get
thing is my dad was the second,
calendar
my mom's
now.
was the third of May. Yeah,
you'll
They're right next to each other.
you'll
both
still
days.
get a copy of the book, Brian. Don't worry.
That's cool.
I got you.
So that's the first one.
That's the first one.
Second one is
The second one is May 4th, the following day.
the following day.
The following day.
I love how you have so much to promote within 2 days. Like you're doing the first one, you're also like, hey,
We
you
do
didn't
not
get it.
sleep, people.
Yeah. The next one's out.
I'm just going to do a continuation in my calendar here.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of save the dates. So I'll say okay, there's something coming for April, but I can't yet share it. That's for Eddie to share. But in May 3rd is the first book launch. May 4th is the second. May 19th is Deals and Heels, and that's as far as I could take you.
That's fine. We got dates.
These are so
You
many
guys-
layers of excitement.
Yeah.
You guys thought I was building up the suspense before we really got going here, and she's like, I can't. I can only tell you the date. Like, this is
Yeah.
what's gonna happen?
That date.
But it's all good. You guys will do well. You'll get it out there. Everybody will know pretty quick, and people within Rock will probably kind of already half know or whatever. So it's all good.
Yeah.
But you kind of stopped moving as much in high school then?
Yeah, so, once my dad got that stable job, things kind of just settled down. My dad remarried. Then there was 2 other siblings. Well, actually, he remarried. My dad's been married, I got to count, 3 times. So there is a total of 5 siblings. But myself and Jacqueline, my older sister, are from the same birth mother. And then everybody else kind of just gets their own mom too. So
Bonus mom.
yeah, you gotta like write down the family tree. But yeah, so Jacqueline and I are very, very close. My dad and I are very, very close. But yeah, we had it really rough. So yeah, we had to go through those marriages too. you know? So it's like we got to say hello to another mom and then goodbye. And then they conceived a child. Her name's Ruth. And then he remarried years later. So there was another gap of us being alone. So it's like I've had to quickly adapt to so many different environments and figuring life out, you know, where do I work? What do I do? Am I supposed to go to college? How do you do all of this? So a lot of navigating my way through, you know, a really tough childhood, really tough.
Did you have help at all when you're trying to figure out, like, I am a woman and I am being kind of like launched forward into this life? Like, who helped you with that, or is that something you learned all on your own?
Yeah, no, you know, I always just, that's why I say my teachers, my coaches. I was always very involved in after-school programs and sports. Sports, like, saved my life. I love sports. I did everything. I did gymnastics.
They're so good for the youth, to learn to work together in a team, and
yeah.
also to keep
leadership, discipline, sportsmanship. That's really when I started, like, owning my shit, when I was like in 4th grade, and the teachers were like, oh my gosh, she's faster than the boys. And I was like, oh,
amen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you seem to be a sponge to soak stuff up like that, and you were just looking for the positive forces that you needed.
That was
and
so
it
me.
Was so athletics and
yes,
school?
All athletics, yeah, for sure. That was me. If my teachers gave me praise, I just ran with it, you know, literally. I did track and field, cross country, since the 4th grade. And
nice.
and that's what's kept me engaged, involved, meeting so many people, friends outside of school. I competed in different park districts.
Right.
So I got to go to other.
Wow, so you were involved not only in school.
Yeah.
After school matters, by the way.
Yes.
After school matters.
It does.
But, you know, your current schools, they have programs, then to do park district. And a lot of single parents rely on these programs.
Yes.
Park district is after school programs, like any sports. So
I do yoga in the park almost every Monday night. I'll be there tomorrow night. If you guys are looking to do some yoga, it's right over here in the neighborhood.
nice.
Yeah.
$10 a session, and it's incredible. It's changed my life. Like, I'm a better person because of it.
No, and that's back in the day. That's what was up.
Because dad needs to work and he needs to bring money to the table. And those are programs that, honestly, I rely to, because if I'm at work and I need to get back, and it's like that timeline where I'm stuck in traffic for an hour and 15 minutes, it's that safeguard for my children to be in a safe environment while mom's making a living.
Yes.
And I totally relate. I feel like those programs are so underfunded.
They're God's gift, yes.
And they are God's gift, because it saves so many parents and children, most importantly children, because you want to be part. No child wants to get into any messes outside. You want to be part of a place where you can be yourself, you can compete, you can build a sisterhood or brotherhood, you know, with other kids
You're
your
going to learn
age.
things there that you probably wouldn't learn in the classroom. Like when you're working with other people like that, because it's more relaxed or it's focused on a certain thing like sports or whatever have you.
Yeah.
We need that so much going forward in this country, for sure.
We need to bring that back.
Exactly.
Like full circle.
It has to, and that's why we're having these conversations right now. There's a lot of things with the structure of our social relationships and contracts and within the family, with taxes, with military service, with and reform within the military itself. There's so many things that have to be changed for the better. We're capable of it, and I believe in it, and that's why I'm always speaking about stuff like this on these podcasts to kind of promote that, because we're better than what we're doing right now, and we've been, and don't get me wrong, you know, a lot of forces working against us to divide us as a people, but fuck all that bullshit. You know, we'll make our own decision about it, you know, when the time comes, and we'll say no to a lot of the bullshit they just pulled on us this time around, you know.
Yeah.
But it's all good. I mean, fucking those programs are super helpful. We need more of
They
that,
are.
like,
My dad knew
positive
always
role
to find
models.
us at the playground, at the field house, you know, like, you know, you had to turn in your gold chain if you wanted a basketball, you know, those days.
Security, like,
yeah.
so you don't
Your
steal
lunch
the
ticket.
basketball.
Yeah, it was like, you want a basketball? You got to turn in your gold chain or your Nikes
I don't
or
blame
something.
them. You got to keep people honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's about
so-
law and order, a little security.
A little
You wanna-
security.
You want something, you got to give something. You got to
Right. That's for them Gen
X.
Xers out there, you know.
Yeah.
We're
But
here to help you too, Gen Xers, especially you guys. Gen Z,
But
or whatever
yeah.
the fuck they're on now.
That's what saved me. Those were my influences. Those were my coaches. And I just grew a passion for sports and discipline early on what it is to be a part of something, and that's what it was. I watched my sister run track and field, and it was like I just followed in her footsteps, and then like I said, you got to go to different park districts. So I mean, I hadn't been outside my block, in a while, because my dad was always working. So it's like we didn't have any transportation or that parent that said, "Oh, come on, I'll take you over here." It was just kind of like you walked everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
So because I participated in that, I got to see other schools, meet other coaches, and then it just blew up into, high school, and then I just competed in high school. So yeah, I didn't have those women influences. I didn't have a coach or a mentor throughout my entire career. Actually,
Well, I'm really proud of you that you've
Thank you.
gotten to
Yeah,
where you are. Like the portrait that we see is somebody who's like been inspired and works hard to be who they are.
Who overcame a lot of adversity.
a lot.
This
You know,
lot.
from
does not happen overnight.
childhood. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's been tough. There's just so much that's unspoken. Like those days that we went without eating, the spankings that we got, the unnecessary spankings that we got. We got spanked for every little thing. It was like, oh Lord, here we go, getting spanked again. So it was tough. And my dad was like hardcore on us. If we brought like a B at home, it was like not a good day. Like we had to bring good grades. It was like
So he demanded excellence from you.
he demanded excellence from us. He expected it. I don't think he ever took too much time. Now in his older age, now he says it like all the time. Like he doesn't know when his last days are, so he's just like, I love you, and then we'll keep talking conversation. He's like, I love you, and I'm so proud of you. But he never said that when we were going through it.
Right.
It was like
A lot of parents don't do that, especially immigrant parents. I don't know if yours were. Like my dad was from Ireland. He never told me he was proud, but he would tell my friends or the neighbor or the friends of the family and the neighbors that he was proud of me, but he would never say it to me. And
Yeah.
That's
Ah.
true. My mom struggled with that too, like saying any achievements for me. She would always like throw in my, even to this day, she's like, "Ay, mija, you would be so far advanced if you didn't have 7 children." I'm like, "Mom, they're already here. Don't say that."
Well, it does keep you on your
No,
it
yeah.
keeps you on your toes though, because it's like, and I know it's probably not the best way to do it,
Right.
But like they keep you motivated and hungry because they know that satisfaction is the death of desire. So if you're constantly like looking for that praise and you don't get it, you keep on working at it because you know it's
Exactly.
there. You just don't get it. But then that's when they start doing these back channel things by like talking to their close friends like my uncle and shit, like, dude, your dad's proud of you. You know what I mean? 'Cause he didn't go to college. He didn't do any of that shit.
Yeah.
And then when he knew that I was going to law school and I scored high enough, he was like so fucking happy, but he never told me, and that's fine because I got it through those back channels, and I have to honor the man who made everything possible. I wouldn't be sitting here at this table without him, literally
Right.
and figuratively, right? Like you know what I mean? If he didn't give birth to me, I won some kind of lottery in this universe, whatever this
Exactly.
is that we're in. I mean, I really want it that way, and then during the course of my life, he was always about just being a good father. Him and my mom almost got divorced, and they ended up getting back together, and so he said, like, you were the main motivating factor behind me getting back together with your mom, like myself and my brother. And so I feel it would be dishonor if I did not excel as far as I possibly can in life for the the gifts that I've been given to use. I don't want to neglect them, don't want to not use them, and I got
Right.
a lot more I got to do in my own life too, and I'm working on it right now. And this is one of those things. This is one of my passion projects here. And goddamn, that friggin' Italian wine is good, son. It makes this classy event even classier. Rufino, straight out of Italy. It's got the custom stamps on it.
I
You're
will
so
say,
funny.
like, being raised by a single parent definitely gives you a different perspective on life when you're an adult. You look back, you don't sweat the little things at all, especially when you have so many changes that you went through as a child. And I know, like, for myself, when I had to leave when I got divorced, it's like I knew exactly how to pivot. I knew that I had to move close to a school in the event where I couldn't come pick up my kids on time. They knew that they could walk home safely. So to have those little nuggets that my mom
I know,
implanted.
right?
Like, it's blueprint for me now. Like,
Yeah.
I know exactly. I know, like, I need a systematic approach all the time. If I want to be successful, this is what I need to do, and I stay on my grind. And sometimes I just can't, like, do it 24/7. So I learn, like, honor myself early in the morning, get my workout in between dropping my kids off at school, and then I clock into work. But those are amazing things that you learn being raised by a single parent, and also you're able to implement that if it ever comes where you do need to do this on your own. You know that you've already lived it, and you know exactly
you
what
survived it.
But you also learn what not to do too. Like you stated, the frustrations that our parents went through raising us, and you got a lot of spankings that you didn't deserve because they didn't know anything different. And that was actually one of my biggest motivators of starting my own healing journey. Was like, I don't want to be always upset at my children. I don't want to be angry. I left a toxic situation so I could be at peace when I come home. And I want to provide that for my children. Even though they're 7, they outnumber me for sure. But, and the moment that I decided to take that initiative, it's like everything else calmed. Like everything else is just seamless. It's not perfect, but it's so seamless at home now. Like everyone knows what to do.
Yeah.
Don't struggle with grades. Kids are doing well, you know what I mean? But I'm also able to do a lot more as a mom, a lot more for myself too, thanks to my children.
I feel like your ability to think and plan, like, it sounds like it increased like tenfold since you left the bad relationship. Like, everything started, the opportunities started just almost showing themselves to you. It's like, they're calling, you can't help but not notice them, they're there. And it seems like you really got control of that and implemented it well in your life. And, you know, like, you're my co-host, you know what I mean? Kimmy is too. I hope Kimmy's doing well and stuff like that. But, you know, if somebody can't make it, you know, Tilsa has been coming through and it's like, this ain't easy, and this is time spent you don't get back. But, I mean, I think it's therapeutic.
Well spent time.
It's therapeutic.
I love it. It's
for
an
me.
investment.
This is gonna, like, kind of set my whole mindset for the week going forward. Like, what a great time I had, and what great connections I made, and what, you know, with our energy and with our stories and everything too, because that kind of popped this question in my head. Do you feel like, you know, you mentioned spankings, and I was hit as a kid too, and sometimes it was just because my dad was drunk or whatever, and he, you know, didn't know his boundaries or his limits. But do you feel like you took that out on other people? Because the old saying is kind of like hurt people. Did you, or?
No, I actually did the opposite. You know, now being a mother myself, I definitely do discipline way different. I do a lot of talk therapy with my son, a lot of it. We just kind of talk through problems and how he's feeling, where we never got that opportunity to talk. It was like, shut up, sit down, and do what I say. Right. If not, you're getting spanked. I mean, that's just the way almost every Latin house went. It was like this military
dictatorship.
The chancletazo.
Except we didn't get the chancletazo. We got, like, hardcore, like, the belt. We got the hairbrush, the mop, the broom, whatever was around. And we're girls.
Hispanic household.
And we're girls.
That's wild. Yeah, you know, I mean, like you said, like, you're girls. Like,
yeah. And we were good girls. It's not like we were rebelling up in these streets or anything. It's just my dad had his way. And like you say, I think he was really frustrated. Like, how did I land on this shit box with 2 girls by myself? And I think for so long he was angry and carrying that with him. And here we were.
You can't blame. Sometimes I look back and I'm like, I don't blame my mom for raising me in an unhealed version of herself.
Yes, and that's what you get.
And sometimes, like, as an adult, like, I remember in my 20s being so angry how she would always, like I remember this happening. And when I went through my healing process, I'm like, my mom raised, like, once you understand that your parents raised you from an unhealed version, and chances are that they're not going to ever acknowledge or whatever, or some do, others don't. It's like you could forgive them, forgive yourself, and cut the strings. Like, you completely detach from that toxicity of back, you know, your childhood trauma or memory.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you guys are living proof of that, quite honestly.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
and you're just, there comes a time in your life where you realize that, and I was really young when I realized. I was like, this is just an angry man, and he doesn't know any better because his parents did a crappy job, you know, and he
Right.
was the oldest of 9 siblings.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my dad carried a lot of burden being the oldest.
Yeah.
Caring for everyone.
He's caring for everybody, and then here we go. Now he's got to go through another round carrying these, 2 little girls and figuring out parenting and life and bills, and he was really frustrated. And I think it took him a long time to heal and get through that. And then as we started to mature and grow and thrive, he realized his wrongdoings, and we've had that conversation before with him, my sister and I, where, you just have to forgive. You just have to extend grace. And thankfully I'm a believer, and my faith and my spirituality has shined through and has allowed me to forgive him and many others that have done me wrong.
Forgiveness is so good for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's
Forgiveness
different...
is for ourselves.
Me, like, they say, I can't remember what the old saying is. What is it, like, forgive but don't forget? And I hate to say it because I feel it's almost like a character flaw, but I don't either. I don't, because, like, my dad was like, he believed in law and order and harsh punishment for harsh crimes, and it kind of rubbed off on me, and, but I've changed so much because I'm like this perfect growing collection and changing collection of all the experiences that I've had with my dad was a very positive man. He did struggle with alcohol when I was young, but that changed and he became a better man throughout his lifetime, so I can't speak nothing but good words about him. But I'm this collection of everybody I've met and the people that I've listened to and learned from, and then like my parents and my friends growing up. That's why I'm in a positive position in my life right now, is because I've had such great influences on me, and everybody gets that too, and that's why I've been talking about, like, being a mentor, and I have been a mentor in many ways in my life to many different people, but to make sure that the young men and women coming up in the community have a positive mentor too. They really need that, so I'm all about that. But I personally learned from a lot of people outside of the home because, my mom was born in America, but my dad was born in Ireland, and, immigrants bring these ways that aren't kind of like the societal ways we have here, or they might not fit in with how you solve problems or the way you think about problems, so I had to learn a lot of that outside the home. But in any event, I'm that perfect collection of all those people and those things, and I'm still growing now. So I'm trying to, but when I was younger, one thing I regret is that I was a hurt person who would take it out on other people. I didn't like the fact that I was, that there was something that I couldn't win at, because I knew that I could never, like my father was the one who dealt out the disappointment. It wasn't the other way around. I mean, physically, but that I would take it out on other people. I got into a lot of fights when I was younger. And I lost some. I won a lot of them, but I lost some as well. And then I learned actually how to fight. My dad, when I was in 8th grade, he started bringing me to a legend, an Irish legend on the South Side, Martin McGarry, who was a multiple time Golden Glove winning champion. So you have to face like the toughest of the tough people. So he was a great boxing instructor and just taught me these basics, these techniques. And then I started wrestling in my freshman year of high school. And so finally, the people that I would get into it with or whatever, I was able to, I had a framework that I could use to handle myself. And ever since then, I don't like fighting. In my life, I feel like, I wouldn't want to have to do it now, especially as I've aged, right? Like when I was younger, it was like, fuck it. Anybody who wants to fucking get wrong can get a piece. But nowadays, I'm like, I prefer mentally and physically peace, because physically I can't do it, anymore. I mean, you'd pay a great price to get into like a real good physical fight right now, right? You never know. Like I had ACL surgery in 2018. You get into it, people, you never know what might happen. But also mentally, it's just like, the one thing I wasn't able to do was control my emotion, and my mom and dad weren't good at that either, and I picked that up when I was younger. But yoga and meditation really, really helped for me to get control of my emotions. When you control that, I feel like you can control just about any other thing.
Your breathing.
Breathing. That's the first where it started. Once I started focusing on my breathing and knowing how to do it right, or notice how to calculate it, I wouldn't just jump at the first thing that pops at me. You know what I mean? And that's why, like, sometimes I won't respond to a message right away. It's like, it's not that I'm disrespectful to you, it's I'm super respectful of myself, that I know that I only have so much mental bandwidth.
Yeah.
I can only carry so much weight. So I've learned to manage all that now. So I guess to come full circle, I had to learn a lot going into the real world, learn from other people, and then try to make that the best combination of all things that I could. I'm fucking proud of myself, man.
Yeah, no,
you know,
I'm
not
proud of you
everybody will
too.
tell you they're proud of you or whatever. Like, sometimes you just got to be like, man, look at the fucking, that shit speaks for itself. I can see the growth that I've had. And then, you know, I think the one thing we all share here is that we like to share this positivity with other people.
Yes.
This energy, the lessons that they can learn from us, or the things that we can show them, the languages that we can teach them about this business that we're in. It's all power. It's all knowledge. It's like, it's a beautiful thing, you know.
And your current situation does not define your future.
Yeah.
You can always quantum leap into something amazing. It begins with inner work, and how you respect yourself. That's how others show up for you as well.
Yeah. That's for damn sure.
It's like everyone in your life is a mirror of what you have inside. So if
that and the way the world comes back to you is a product of the same thing. It's really just a mirror. Like, if you your outlook is everything. That's on any leadership thing I think you go to, like, they're talking about positive mindsets and like positive outlook and getting away from a negative situation. It's everything. Just to have that positive mindset. It almost makes you like magic. Like, you are becoming more of God-like when you can, you know,
you attract what you are.
You
not
attract
what
the
you
positivity
want.
and reflect the negativity, and just it's just like the old saying, like in business, is like, take your money, use that money to make more money, and then repeat. It's the same thing with positivity and growth and opportunities. Like,
Thank you.
It's so magnetic. Like, all the people we bring together, and I feel like us three and all those like us in this business that are all connected with each other. It's going to be our job as leaders to really bring that to the future, because of everything we go through as a society now, and who knows what the future may hold. Like, we're in a market-dependent business, and when I was younger, I was more of like always thinking about the rainy day, but now I know that it's somewhere. When is it going to come, and what are we going to do then? And that's why, like, the things that we're talking about here, like principles of growth and leadership and change, we need that more when times are bad, and we've been through a lot of fucking bad times. Like, I know we're kind of like, we're sitting here without masks and we're doing this shit, but the coronavirus was a really fucking dark time where we had to figure a lot of shit out on our own, and we're not fully out of the woods, you know what I mean? There are variants and shit, and, you know, if it wasn't an election year, maybe they'd try to scare us with that shit a little bit more. I don't know. I really don't know, but
we're in it. The repercussions of COVID is now what's coming next.
And how it affects every generation too. Like, we're going to be affected in a different way than our kids were as well. You know, who are staring at this while they're on e-learning, where they're not even probably paying attention anyway. They're fucking off doing what they're doing at home, and so
was
it's hard to
difficult.
keep it's hard to keep control of people in person. Never
working
mind
from
when
home.
little Johnny's like looking in the other direction and they're fucking around while the teacher's talking about God knows what. And when I talk about educational reform and tax reform and military reform, we have a one-size-fits-all education system where your average person is put through the same curriculum, barring any disabilities or things like that, learning disabilities and things. But it's like, that's not the way to go at all. And then we have these people who are put into a one-size-fits-all system, this generation, but didn't even get a good go of that, like, because they weren't there in person. And apparently, like, young children really need to see the mouth moving to really internalize language and wrap their brain around it to really learn it. So, like, that's like this whole younger generation who's been going around these masks. Is this normal? Is this not right? This is what I did in my early years. They have to struggle with all that before they can figure out how to, like, exist back in a normal society. And then what's next? You know what I mean? Because I'm reading a book right now. It's called COVID-19 and the Global Predators, We Are the Prey. And they're basically just saying that, like, the global elites and the billionaires and the rich of this country are basically in bed with China, and we're all being sold out. And, like, that, to me, there's no other reasonable explanation. So I put a lot of stock in there. I'm not saying whether I fully put all my stock into that, but I don't trust the government anymore. I don't trust the media, and I don't know if I ever will again in my life. And that's crazy because they've ruined that. And what are the repercussions of all that on top of everything we dealt with in our children? Like, this was something I mentioned to somebody else recently. I think it was at the Southwest Realty Board meeting. The goal, or maybe it was at Team Ortiz, I was over hanging out with them having breakfast. And so our parents, like, the standard for parents in the generations past was always, like, to leave a better lifestyle to their children than what they got. And we're one of the first few generations that won't be able to do that unless we really work hard at changing the society, because manufacturing left. Service jobs are going to the South, they're going to Ireland, they're going to India, all these people where people speak English, and they can do what we do here at a lower price. And then when COVID hits, they shut down your jobs. So even the jobs you have left, you're being told you can't do, for the restaurant owner, for the landlords who have tenants, for the people out there working hard like us. Like, that's not something I think that we in good conscience as leaders can allow to happen so easily in the future. Like, now that we've had it happen, if they want to pull some bullshit with another fucking virus they've been working on in labs since 2015 or 2013 or whatever, like,
yeah, I mean,
we can't accept that again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We
No,
have to stand
no.
up and say we have to function as a normal society. And I'm not. The thing that they say is like a medical principle right in the beginning of the book is the more people can function normally during a pandemic or an epidemic. So pandemic is worldwide, whereas there are multiple countries, whereas an epidemic is just here. Is that if you can function normally and go about your business for the young and healthy people not experiencing symptoms, the better you will be health-wise and mentally. And they literally flipped that entirely upside down during this whole fucking thing we went through.
I mean, you've said so much. I think
Sorry, I'm very passionate about this.
No,
I
no,
hit
no.
You guys with a lot of shit to respond to. Like, first of all, this is a segue.
I'm like, damn.
And secondly, like,
That's a documentary,
I
right?
guess, but I want to spread what I've collected in my mind. to
No, I
people.
feel you. I definitely think. I mean, from just engaging in a couple of high schools. So Realty of Chicago has partnered with several Chicago public high schools to recruit seniors, because you only have to be 18 to get a license.
Do you have a license at all? License?
And so I've been in the schools. I've talked to the teachers. Obviously, prior to coming onto Rock, I was in the schools talking to teachers. Right. So I was leveraging my relationships, and just the blank stares that I get from the staff and the administrators, the frustration, the change, we're coming to school, we're not coming to school, we're potentially striking, hearing from the parents, and I'm just like, OMG. Like, so glad that my son just made it out of that, Right. But it's scary. It's scary to think, where are the seniors going? Are they going to community college? Are they going to 4-year colleges? Are they going to the trades? Or
college is overrated, in my opinion. If there's somebody who has
I
as much
feel
debt as
like-
I do, and you
Right.
don't get as much payback.
oh
like,
yeah, for
There's
sure.
so many
I've
good
had
jobs out
conversation
there.
with my children about
There's
that.
so many good jobs out there, union jobs or trades jobs, where you can make
Right.
more than you would if you went to college.
That's exactly my oldest daughter. She wants to be an attorney, so she's in U of I, and pre-law. I'm like, okay, great. That's exactly what you definitely need to
I
go
hope
to.
she gets scholarships to pay for almost
Yeah.
all of it, because
She did.
I wouldn't do it over again if I didn't have more assistance or I went to a more affordable school than I did. You know what I mean?
She actually, she did very well. She was an honor roll student since she was in grammar school. So she's paved her way in sports, and she's always had a passion for debating. She used to go to like Loyola pre-law camp. I definitely included all of my children, like whatever they're passionate for, I tend to push them into little programs so they can create, is this really a passion that you want?
Right.
Or is this just a like because you
Right,
saw
it's
a
a
movie?
hobby.
Right. We can't play with mom's money. It's
Right,
only me. But she honestly got so many scholarships, and only out of pocket, I only have to pay like $7,000 for the first and second, and that is it.
That's well worth it then.
It
But
really-
not everybody. Some people it's all student loans. Like for law school, I was all student loans
Yeah.
for me, and
It
it
is.
is so expensive.
Yeah.
This is
Because
why
it's
I
not
work
just
7
your
days a
cost
week.
of tuition, which
It's
cost of
your
tuition
food,
is
your gas,
another
your
thing that
books.
needs regulation and reform in this country is the cost of tuition.
Absolutely.
But I have to stay in an apartment. I need to be able to focus. I had my own studio for a while.
Your
and then-
computer, your internet. It's
yeah,
so much more.
all of it has to be taken out of student loans, especially in law school, because they don't allow you to work a full-time job or even barely part-time, I think, in your first year. I don't know if they allow it. I think you have to kind of, maybe part-time. Yeah, something for the evening students, I think, can do it. But if you're full-time, they won't let you have, you're restricted as to how much you can work, for good reason, because it's very intensive education. But in any event, yeah, I mean, they need reform in that too, because otherwise all this stuff that we, try to push our kids
Right.
into is not really
Right.
worth it. I mean, how many people do you know who have a degree in something that they're not even in that field? They just end up
Yeah.
in like marketing, sales, graphic design related
Food
shit,
service.
Right.
or all sorts of that. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like, was that really necessary? So there's a lot of stuff that we have to improve on.
I will honestly say, like, I was at DeVry, and I'm 20 credits shy from getting my bachelor's, total waste. Like, I've learned more being an entrepreneur and researching and talking to other entrepreneurs that I have going to college. Honestly, that's the worst.
In real world
$60K that I owe.
Yeah.
I will say you need an accounting class, a finance class, and maybe a few
Financial literacy. all
Yeah,
that stuff,
like accounting 1, 2, and 3, statistics. I learned so much in statistics. As
Ooh,
an
that's a scary
analyst,
word.
that's one thing that I can do so well is anticipate, forecast, and predict. Like, that's my thing. As a mom, I've learned those skills too.
Can I have help
Yeah.
with my retirement account? Phil?
I can
me
help
out?
you with your pension.
Can you? That's
Wait,
not a
you don't have
contract
one?
or nothing like that? Well, I kind of do, yeah.
You don't have wait.
Well, I mean, I have my own IRA,
his own.
my individual retirement account.
Okay,
that I
yeah,
choose what's
retirement's
in
a
there,
little bit
which,
different.
Holy shit, what a wild year we had last year. But I got a couple of really strong, solid, dependable horses in the race, but also some ones that are like, holy shit, it's going to be on a few years before these go back up.
Yes.
You guys keep on talking for a minute. We can edit out silence and all that other shit, or we can leave the conversation. I'm going to use the washroom real quick, just like
Go.
real quick.
Bye-bye.
But
Wash your hands.
great content so far. Oh, I always do. If it's wet, it ain't pee. It's I wash my hands. I just didn't fully dry them. But we've had a bunch of content here so far because we kind of got into how you got to where you're at, how you were in high school over here. You went to DePaul. You've been in education. I guess the other things I wanted to connect that I wanted to discuss was just how you connected with rock, how it's been, what it's like, what your job includes, your vision for the future, all these things, and there's just a few other things that came up in your background that you could tell us about. And
Yeah.
I think that'll be it. But you guys keep on going if you want to. I'm just
Yeah.
going to use.
Are we
water
pausing?
real quick. No, I mean, it's still going.
Okay, it's still going.
Do
All
you guys
right.
need to take a quick break too? Like, this would be a good time. I can edit all that shit out.
I'm good. I want to
Yeah.
go back to that education. So my point
going
with
for it.
my point with the high school students is that they have these options, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can go to the trades, you can go be an entrepreneur, you can go to college, community, you could go to the military.
Right.
But my point with what Brian was saying with COVID is like there's been such a big gap of lost time and inconsistency, and that's what children need the most is consistency. And I feel that that group that was in school during those 2 years, I think for me it's, well, are they ready?
Right.
And that is so pivotal for me because I can tell you, hey, go to the trades, or hey, you should probably go to the military. Are they ready? Are they prepared? Are they equipped?
I don't feel, no. I honestly
And-
just, as a mom.
I mean, because it's been such a wild roller coaster ride from learning remotely to we're going back, we're not going back, you're wearing a mask, you're not wearing a mask, no friends, it's just been such a lonely.
Yeah. Kind of like an idol.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, forget about what options we're presenting to them. Are they ready to receive them and go and get it?
I feel like even before presenting young adults with options, it's like, let's talk about what you're passionate, what are your interests. And I feel like a lot of times, I would say for myself, like all these, like if you don't go to college and you don't have a college degree, like you're nobody. And that's not necessarily
No,
true.
no.
It's like discovering first what is your passion and then building a framework around that. So if you want to be a plumber, obviously join a union and you're getting paid for going into trades. You know what I
I'll
mean?
be a plumber any day. Do
Right.
you know how much I get paid? Hello.
Honestly, I tried it for one day and I threw up. Like,
It is kind of a shitty job.
Give me the gloves.
no, I was wearing a hazmat suit and I was helping out and I'm like, it just splashed on my face. And I'm like, whoa.
God, I don't even want to think about it. It's so terrible.
It was a shit job.
It was a shit job, damn.
So no, but it's really important to kind of like explore those different options. Like, what is it that you genuinely want? Because if you operate for anyone, you have young children, 18, 19, who are starting businesses as well. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and are
yeah.
doing so well. One of my children, my youngest, we call him Chicken Nugget. He likes to sell cookies because that's his thing is like, I want to sell cookies. And I'm like, why is that? He's like, because I want to be a shark. And I'm like, okay. He's like, well, I want to
watching Shark Tank?
He watches Shark Tank, but he's
Great
like, I'm
show to
going
watch.
to
Kids
use
should be
my
watching it.
profits
Right.
of selling cookies because I know I could flip these cookies really quickly. He's like, Mom, that's
telling
something
you.
that you talk about. Flipping a product, flipping. I'm like, oh, okay.
I
Papa.
love it.
So he's like, I'm going to invest my earnings into crypto. I want to learn about. I'm like, what? My 10-year-old son, like,
The
excuse
Googles,
me?
the Googles.
What
I
you're
love it.
talking about is one of the positive things that is going on right now is to like have you guys read Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yes, I love
I've
it.
heard
You've
about
read
it. I haven't read it.
Definitely read it, at least like halfway through, because it gets more technical into like accounting and shit later in the book. But the first part about it is the main message is just like once you learn how to see business opportunities and entrepreneurship, you will never unsee it again. It's like this new skill that you've acquired to navigate
That's
the matrix.
very true.
And so what you're talking about with your son now is that he's seeing opportunities, learning ways to make money and to grow and to branch out. I mean, shit, if only TikTok included that like exclusively, we'd be in a much better shape than we're in right now.
Yeah.
To see idea or to see opportunity and to use it and to grow, for sure.
And
For
it's
sure.
being open and receptive as a parent too. Not one model fits all your children.
Yes. Can
Not
we
at
say
all.
that again?
Yes.
Say it again.
Yeah, say it again.
Not one model fits every child, especially in your household. So don't compare your children because they each have a different soul. My oldest daughter,
this is
she
so true.
paved the platform. She was always very studious. Her academics were always on point, but not all my children are like
Yeah.
that. I have 5 boys, 2 girls on the bookends, and 5 boys in between.
Oh my
and
goodness.
the boys are
5 boys.
Yeah.
Oh, just shoot me now.
There are situations where men get outvoted by the women in the house
God.
too. We got to sympathize with all of them. Well, yes.
So, anyways, the model for my daughter will not work for my sons, and it's making sure that they pick the university if that's what they want to go into. Like, you're going to be living here for the next 4 years, and I can't drop your younger siblings to go rescue you.
Yeah.
So you need to make it easy where if something happens, papas, I could get to you in a few hours, but
Yeah.
also maintain the household. And the same thing for my oldest. She's not too far away. But anyways, I know that my children, they're all different, and I'm so open and receptive for them. I'm just excited to see them blossom. My little ones are like, Mom, I want to get into crypto. I'm like, what? Like,
That's crazy.
Well, what you're talking about is what is right with America and has been for a long time. Like a free and open country where people can pursue what they want to pursue and put their energies into that and have something that accrues to them, starting their own companies, their own businesses.
Yes.
Either providing their own services or producing a product or whatever it is. Like that's we need that recall that because so many businesses that have left here, I feel like we almost need to regrow what we had, grassroots.
Yeah.
Because those people are already established and they're acting in their interest. Like, we need those young people to have something that accrues to them. That's the only way you get rich in this life is where you have something where you've invested in it, either financially or time-wise or both, that comes back to you in the end of the day where you're making money, where you have that stream of income. That's what we're talking about, stream of income, whether it's the business they've created or rentals or something where when
multiple
they retire,
streams of income.
Multiple.
own it.
Thank
Yes,
you.
in
That's
different
what I
areas.
was going to say.
to have
Like,
it coming back to you.
Yeah.
You have to, what you have, it has to have something that rewards you, that continues coming in. Otherwise, what are we putting all our time into for it?
Exactly.
And you've shared your multiple businesses, and like that's what I've been sharing at every opportunity I get with the high school students is that you don't just have to have a cookie cutter job and that's it.
Your
that's
life will
your
be better
life.
maybe if you don't. Yeah.
Right. And so I'm sharing like you can also do this. You can also do that. So a lot of I went to a couple high schools between February and March, and a lot of the students are saying, well, how do I manage the two, or can I do real estate also if I'm doing this? And I'm like, yes,
Real estate should be your baseline.
Yeah.
I wish someone told me that sooner.
years ago,
Well,
right?
at least be in a place where you can learn,
Right.
whether it's an office or whatever. You have to kind of learn like how people interact with each other in the professional world, and then also seize that opportunity and make as much as you can. Like
No,
it's a very free thing
absolutely.
to be in sales, to be in charge of your success or failure.
Yeah, and we're seeing that at Realty of Chicago. We're seeing people that have 9 to 5s, and they're transitioning into a
And some of them are
full-time.
doing a really good job at it,
They're
too.
doing a kick-ass job at it. We had 4 agents just quit their full-time jobs.
That's amazing.
Between February and March, there were 4 agents that
And look
just,
at how happy she looks.
I know. I'm like,
That
wow,
smile.
you went for it. I'm so
Well,
proud
she
of
likes
you.
to see the freedom and
proudness.
empowerment that
Yeah.
she's part of.
Yeah.
And in March we just signed on our very, very first youngest 18 years old agent at Realty of
Nice.
Chicago. So again, fresh out of high school, took
You're going to have
tests.
to nurture that agent, like
He
guide them. They
Passed
need your
it.
help.
You know what? He's nurturing himself because he puts on a suit every day and he's showing up at the Berwyn office and he's like, who do I talk to today? You know, I'm like, go see Freddie.
God, the energy that they have at that age just to take on any task. Is
Yeah,
just
I
an
mean, he
incredible
just
thing.
shows up. He don't know why he's there, what he's gonna learn, but he's doing something. So we'll put him to work. We'll take him to a showing, a listing. Eddie's
beautiful.
available.
God,
Go
that's
check.
great.
Go talk to him.
To learn that business language at a young age is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
We don't
It
get that
is
enough in
a
this
different
country.
language.
It is.
Every profession has its own language. Yeah.
No, real estate has its
It's a very business.
It's called
concept-oriented
right
language.
now.
Well, that too.
I'm learning a different language. I would say I started studying, I took the class 3 years ago. I took it at the wrong timing, by the way. I'm going through a divorce. What am I doing taking a freaking real estate class?
Oh, my
And I'm like,
goodness.
I'm going to be a chingo and I'm going to get through this. And then I'm like, I've always passed everything seamlessly, effortlessly. This is no different. Yeah, freaking right.
It was tough. It's a tough exam for sure.
You have to
You took
focus
it?
on it.
No, but I mean, I've sat in the classes, so I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
the material. I haven't actually, per se, completed the course.
Well, yeah, because I didn't know if you were a realtor or not.
No, I'm not licensed. I would love
I just thought
to.
you were in charge of operations like a motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm behind the
Well,
curtains.
yeah, because you don't have to be a realtor to do that. You just
No,
have to have
no,
a
no.
beautiful mind and a mind of nurturing and organization and,
Correct.
and constant work. You're just showing people that it's you don't have to overdo it, but you got to be consistently working all the time. To
Oh
make this
yeah,
work.
yeah. Your brain's constantly, shifting to different things that we're doing at Realty of Chicago. So, you mentioned that as one of your asks. So, what does my role entail?
Yeah.
So, a lot of people actually don't know what a VP of operations does. But if you look at any vice president of operations role or job description, you're basically the orchestrator behind the chaos. Okay, you see a problem, you see where it needs to be resolved, fixed, or created. In my case, a lot of new things need to be created for Realty of Chicago. Eddie went on a whim and created this amazing organization, and it just took off on its own. And this is our
You're
third.
trying to bring a greater structure and plan into that.
Correct. So, I've got my hand in a couple cookie jars.
You're doing well.
Between social media, recruiting, and growth. Those are my pillars right now that I'm focusing on grooming them and creating systems to help alleviate some of the bumps in the road. So like onboarding when an agent comes on and educating them and coaching them. Those are things that you absolutely need in order to get to that big growth. So that's kind of what I do. In addition to meeting with agents, seeing where they're at in their process, how can I support, where are they lacking. A lot of times they just want someone to hear them out. Hey.
It's important, though.
Yeah, just go to lunch, dinner, and just hear them out. Get to know them as a person. So just building those relationships that we have with our agents. And I mean, we're growing so fast that I don't even know who came in, who just signed on. I don't know
Sounds like
that
you're
person
in
yet.
school, but you might need a couple of assistants that will help you full time because
Yeah, no, I know.
You're kind of the architect, that overarching manager who's bringing together a lot of different things at once and who's creating that vision and that structure going forward. You're gonna need help with that, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. We're there. We're there. I'm having trouble breathing.
Do you feel that your family was supportive when you made the move to from Morton over to Realty of Chicago?
You know what, Brian? That's so funny that you asked that because I did not tell my family about this opportunity.
Wow.
I didn't tell my partner. I didn't tell my sister, who's like my number one confidant for everything. You know, I for the most part have been, you know, obviously with such a rough childhood, I like demanded order in my life. And that's what I got. I wanted order. I wanted structure. That's who I am. And I created that and I loved it. And there was no need for me to leave my job. I had a great job, good salary, pension, benefits. I could thrive anywhere with that. In fact, I had gotten an offer at Miami-Dade and another offer
Which
at...
is in Ohio. You would think it's in Miami. It's not.
No, it is.
What, Miami-Dade?
Miami-Dade.
Oh, Miami-Dayton. That's the one I'm thinking of.
No.
In Ohio. Sorry.
No,
Didn't
it's
look it
actually in
off.
Florida.
Yeah, no, but yeah, that one is. But the one I'm thinking
The
of,
other
my
one.
friend from law school went there. Anyway, whatever.
And then I got an offer in Arizona. So I was kind of like, you know, ooh, that sounds really good. And my sister had just moved to Florida. So I was just like, ooh, do I want to go to Florida? But I couldn't leave Chicago. And then I applied for my doctoral program and got accepted. And so I was ready to move on to my next chapter in my career, in my life, and do this big leap of faith and just go do my doctoral program. And then that's when I met Eddie. And then
So you were working at Morton.
I
at the
was
time.
working at
And
Morton.
you met him through that?
Yeah, so I saw one of his bus stop benches,
He's
like
everywhere.
everybody.
It's hard not to. They're
It's
on
hard
every
not
bus
to.
stop.
It's like, damn, there's Eddie. So I brought him to the college. I showed him around.
So his marketing paid off to bring you there, yes.
Yes, I brought him to the college. I showed him around. I wanted him to contribute to our mission at Morton College and help serve our international students, our athletic department, and overall initiatives that we had at the college. And he was all in. He was like, well, how can I help? What can I do? And then long before short, he was like, hey, why don't we do a real estate program here? And I was just like, let's do it. Let's go. And so that's how we launched the program at Morton
Wow.
College till this day. And so now I'm just on the other
And
end
at
of
that
it.
time, you made the transition over?
No.
It was like he said like he saw your potential and wanted to bring you in, or how did it all work out?
Yeah, so I mean, we just cultivated this beautiful relationship through him being a donor of the college. And so I was always in communication with him, and then now we were developing the real estate program, and then it got developed, and then it kicked off, and I think the first class there was like 55 students. We're into our second year of the program with over 300 students that have sat in the class. This past Saturday, I was there hosting the orientation, and it seriously got emotional because it's like everybody in the room was just so excited to be there, you know, and it was just like, wow, what did we just create? So that's kind of how all of that started. And then long before short, you know, Eddie was just kind of like, hey, I got to ask you something. And he asked me, and I just thought, oh, Eddie, you know, like, not right now. Like, it just wasn't on my mind. It wasn't on my radar. Like I said, I was already, you know, ready to move on. I had already accepted the acceptance of the doctoral program. So I was just like, yeah, no, I'm going to go do that program. Like, what are you talking about? And then I really started thinking. I really started thinking about, you know, the risk, the opportunity, the cost of school, the 3 years that it would take me to finish the program, the long nights
And where
I would
would you
have.
be after that's all over?
Yeah, and so I just started doing this number, and I was just like, oh gosh, here we go again with, you know, work and papers and plus regular work and mommy duties.
Right.
I was just like, yeah, you know what, Eddie, hang on.
Followed your heart. Sometimes
I
you
followed
have to
my
get out of your
heart,
head.
Brian. I just followed my heart. I was like, it's now or never. And I sent him a message, and I was like, hey, Eddie, I'm still interested. And what you mentioned, like, I think it was like 2-3 months ago, and he was like, "You are? Do you know I've been interviewing and I can't find anybody?"
Aw.
And he's like, "This is such great news. I'm coming to pick you up. We're going to dinner." It was just like he won the lottery. We went to dinner. We had a great dinner, great conversation. I think we were there for like 3.5 hours. Oh my God.
I think they're lucky to have you, and you're lucky to have them too. It's
yeah.
just
No,
like
absolutely.
mutual beneficial thing. Like you're fulfilling your potential in a way, you know. Right now, I don't. Who knows what the future holds? But for now, it seems like a really good fit. You know?
No, absolutely. It's like I was always there. So I joined the team. Like I said, I'm coming up on my 1 year, and no regrets. No regrets. It's been amazing. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of challenges. Lots of barriers and things that we had to overcome as a team, and we're still working through some things.
But you're heading in the right direction.
Oh, we're always headed in the right direction. We have a great, strong team, and I only foresee awesome things, happening at Realty of Chicago for sure.
I look forward to being part of it and witnessing it all in person.
Yeah.
Wherever I'm at. I've known a lot of these folks since younger. Eddie and I went to high school at St. Joseph's in Westchester for a while. I mean, I knew he was, like, we had mutual friends, but we didn't talk a lot back then. But Eddie was not, like, a really talkative guy
he
back
was
then.
definitely shy.
And
Now you just
so
can't
he was
shut him up.
He was a cool dude. There was no problems. He just didn't really talk. He was, like, kind of, or at least he talked more with the people, but I didn't know him. Like, I just knew people who knew him, and so we had mutual friends, but it wasn't like that. But, but to see, like, over 20 years later, we graduated in, or going on, that's what I meant to say. Not that it's been over 20 years, it's that it's going on 20 years. We graduated in 2003, and it's like, holy shit, I can't believe that 20 years have passed.
I know.
Because, like, when you're younger and you're not married, you don't have kids, you don't
You're
have
not
this
keeping track of
full-time
time.
responsibility. Not really, because there's not as many consequences to your action. And I think that's a tough challenge that we face. Is like we face the same challenges we had back then, but responsibility on top of it. Like, oh, that's what this is really about. You gotta navigate all this shit. Yeah, you gotta be strong as fuck to excel in the real world.
Yeah.
But yeah, 20 years have passed, and it's impressive what he's built. Since we were in high school, and I'm proud of what I've done too and all that. So it's cool to be a part of it, to be like reconnected. Like, who would have thought that he would have built this kind of real estate empire and this crazy like marketing machine and everything he's done. And then I would reconnect with him through real estate, then through what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I know.
But good for him and good for all you guys. And you've been a very positive force there, and you will continue to be. What do you like? One thing I wanted to ask you is how you got connected with Deals and Heels. Was it through? I mean, it was probably through Rock, of course.
Yeah. Definitely. Maggie Matthews, our fearless leader, our managing broker of the Northside office.
Chick, yep.
Yeah, she is. Maggie's amazing, and I just love to feed off of her energy. She invited me to be a part of the committee, and here we are. We're nearing the event date. It's going to be a beautiful event, a free event that everybody should attend, May 19th, 5:30 at Rockwell on the River. It's going to be a sold-out event for sure. It's just about women in business, and everybody in it, and so that includes, our counterparts, because we support each other. So we have a really awesome panelist speaker. Several of them will be speaking and sharing about their business and in regards to their success, their failures. So, it's just it's an opportunity for everybody to share collectively, in their entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship is like, wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
It goes well and then pass.
Yeah. So
and then the learning curves in between.
People kind of like recently. We had the event the other night at fucking Remax Partners, and we're talking about Women's History Month and all this. And
it was so empowering. Such a great event.
I was like, one of the things I said there was that, like, I am so supportive of like women empowering, women growing, because like who causes like most of the world's conflicts. Like fucking Joe Rogan pointed out, it's like men cause
It's
like
men.
all the world's wars, right? If you think back, you know what I mean, we need women to put a fucking reasonable voice and a reasonable position onto everything we're going through today. So for sure, like that's why I'm like all about this shit, man. Y'all are some lionesses. I know you got a lot to offer
yes.
the world in a good
Thank
direction
you.
and taking it. So fuck
Thank
it,
you for
know?
supporting. Yeah, no, we definitely need more women in leadership in all facets of industries, in education, in entrepreneurship, and politics. It just has to happen. It's long overdue.
Hopefully we'll be in a better place. Y'all don't
Yeah.
don't turn your backs on the principles of like freedom and growth and all this stuff. Because like look what the men did, right? It's like no loyalty, fucking capitalism, money goes all these other places taking advantage of cheap labor and like in the worst possible ways. Like if we could get away from that, you know what I mean? Like I'll vote for every woman on every ticket if that's their stance. Like you know what I mean?
Or you can always just bring the chancleta back.
Exactly.
The chancleta, what? It's the whooping sandal that you got your
Yes,
ass hit
the
with? Or what?
chancleta.
Just bring the chancleta back. We'll be all right.
Shit, I was wearing the Oficina
But that is
chanclas,
really nice
before
to
the
see,
podcast.
like, someone watching from the outside in,
Yeah.
all the Latinos. And it's like, at one point when I was struggling so much and I would see like the constant posts, and that would give me inspiration that will fill my insecurities with just abundance. Like
Yeah.
there was a reason why God gave me this divine download. I call them downloads. Because I'm meant to do epic shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you can't, like, no, I'm not, no me voy a quedar con las ganas sin hacer lo
Yeah.
que quiero, what I'm passionate for. Like, if it comes from my heart, it's definitely something that I need to do. So to see that in such a huge, like, real estate, and then El Fundador Latino, it's like,
Yes.
oh my God, so inspiring to see
It really
that.
is. And that's why I love what I do.
Yes.
Because
And
you just
all
get
the goddesses that are there. I'm like, ladies, you have no idea. We are the center force of everything
know.
majestic that's happening. I teach a class on that. I get excited over it. But it's so beautiful to see that
It
in such a
is.
large volume.
It
Because
is.
you'll see like other companies and it's just one or two and it's male dominated,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool, you know, because you know that the women that are there are chingonas and they bring so much to the table, you know, and you have to kind of compete with that dominance too, and you
Yeah.
always have to, I hate to say it, but we do have to, you know, compete for that, always be on the top of our game in order to be even acknowledged
Well,
sometimes.
you always have to be, and this is just an outsider looking in. I'm not trying to. I don't know it from your perspective, but to be proving your value proposition,
Yes.
your worth, and your value to the institution.
Yes.
But that's a good thing. I mean, men have to do it too. But now you're doing it men against women, and you know, may the best candidate win. You know what I mean? And it's. I just hope that it's a fair system, at least that everybody gets the fair shot, even whether you know, in whatever way it turns out. Hey, I'm telling you right
Well,
now.
the thing is, women aren't asking for permission anymore. We're just going to the table and we're
And you
taking
shouldn't
it.
have to at this
Yeah,
stage of society.
we're
Like,
just
I
not
think
even
I-
asking for
we're past
permission
that.
anymore. We're
You're
just coming
involved.
right down.
I mean, and
Yeah.
that is somewhat in part probably to the changes within society of just it. We're in an economic position where you have to be two earner households at least. You know, to
Yes.
make it. And some of these folks have 2-3 jobs and shit that they're out there working both parents.
Yes.
That's wild.
I know.
But it is a reality for a lot of people in the cities in America and all this. But you know, what are you gonna do? You just gotta, you know, keep on keeping on and shit like that. You know.
For sure.
Well, what do you like to do? What do you like to do outside of real estate? What are your hobbies?
When
What
I'm
do you
not
do for
working.
fitness? Yeah,
When I'm
what
not
do-
working 24/7.
What do you like? Like, what are your personal interests? What do you like to do for yourself and for your
Oh,
mental
there's so
and
many
physical
things I like. I mean, I love fashion. I love taking Epsom salt baths. I love
Yes.
candles. I love perfume. I love tequila. Those are all things that always make me smile.
all the things that make working as hard as you do worthwhile.
Oh, I mean, just being able to sit at home. I love to be home. I love just being in my comfy clothes with the remote, ready to
Yeah, I
watch,
want to go home. You know?
ready to watch Netflix, and just being at home with my son, and my dog Apple, and just relaxing. I'm not sure when's the last time I to relax. It's been.
Are we relaxed right now? I'm pretty relaxed.
I'm relaxed. I'm just saying in my
Yeah.
own space. And
Intentionally.
yes,
on your own
no
terms, in your
makeup.
own place.
It's been a minute. It's just been that busy and productive. But that's what I like to do. I'm low key. I'm a homebody for sure. I love all things outdoors, so sports, hiking, biking, all of that. I love all that. I haven't had much time to travel, obviously, since COVID, and now I just kind of, came into rock, and it was like, there's no vacation happening anytime soon. But I can't wait till that changes, till that narrative changes, because I want to do a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
Yes.
I've been kind of keeping it local with a lot of my travels just because I don't have a lot of time, and it is kind of sad. I mean, I'm going to have other people coming on here to help me out with the workload. My attorney friend Matt is going to be coming here to practice law in the next couple months, and so thank God, because I needed that help yesterday. But
Yeah.
like, even when I go to Wisconsin, I sit at the community center on their Wi-Fi, and I work from like 9 to 5. I should be enjoying God's fucking gifts and shit, but I sacrifice that shit. And I just keep on working all the time just to stay floating, stay swimming, keep the business coming in and all this. And so I yearn for the day having been tested where I've given like the majority of myself to the business, and I look for the day where I have a better balance with it. But I'm working in it all the time. I mean, after this, I'm probably have to work for a little bit, shit like that. But whatever, tomorrow's another day to close deals, make money, make people happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and those are the moments that I live for. It's just to let my hair down, go have a drink, go have a good dinner. But yeah, that's what happens when you're a leader, or you want the very best. It means making a lot of sacrifices.
Fuck yeah.
And you lose a lot of time in that sacrifice. So here we go.
Shit, tomorrow's Monday.
It's Monday tomorrow.
Well, glad you have your peaceful place and you know what you want, and hopefully many blessings ahead for you.
You too.
Thank you.
We're in it together.
Together,
all
us
of
three
us.
right here. Like, we're not going anywhere. We will be we are the generation right now, right? That's leading in this business.
Breaking generational curses.
Yeah, seriously, big time.
Well, I'm glad that we have each other as partners in this whole thing, and I hope you guys. I'm sure there's a lot of opportunities for you guys to work together going forward on all sorts of different projects, and Deals and Heels is a huge thing to be involved with, because they've been through. There was a while where that was the thing, and then it kind of dipped for a little bit, but they've pulled in the reins now and got their leadership in place, and they're ready to do these things again with Sally involved this time, and so they're stronger, coming back with more new additions to the team and everything. And so, I look forward to being a part of it. I look forward to participating, sponsoring, being, just making more connections through that to stuff like this. And, have you guys back in the future. And, once we've got it out like we did this time around, maybe another 3 months, 6 months, next year, whatever, but keep on coming together and introducing each other to good things. So I hope you guys can work together. I'm sure there's a bunch of different ways. Like with Deals and Heels, like, you come through and like spread to them what you have to offer, because you got a lot going on with Divine Wedding Vows, Divine Yoni Goddess Temple now, that you can go there for healing, and just you can tell them about like the healing and the things that you need as a woman to survive and heal and grow.
Absolutely.
You can offer that to everybody that they're all involved with, and then all this stuff goes to hand in hand together so well. So is there anything that you guys want to tell people about before we get going, before we wrap it up?
I feel like we talked so much.
Oh my
it
goodness.
was such a great conversation.
For sure.
I feel like it's the end of a good workout.
Yeah, right?
We fucking flex those conversational muscles.
It's time for the whey protein. No, I just want to say thank you for having me. This has been a blessing. And I also want to personally thank you for all the time that you support Realty of Chicago, like for real. In all of our events, I'm always hearing about you sponsoring, supporting, showing up. We work hard and we play hard, and we're glad, that we get that little bit of time with you to celebrate our success. So thank you for supporting everything that we do. We really appreciate you. Our agents, appreciate you as well. So thank you for showing up when it's time to show up.
You're welcome. It's glad to be a part of it, and I look forward to like continuing to grow so that I can be a better servant to my clients and to your agents as well. I have so many great bonds with them. Like when they talk about Realty Chicago family, like I work with probably more people from Realty of Chicago than I do any other brokerage, and so it means a lot to me to be close with people because I feel like we have the same passion, same energy. We're at the same places a lot of times in our life,
Yeah.
and we go through it together and we learn to grow together, and that's beautiful. That's the best thing I can do. That's the best way I can spend my time in this life. So I'm humbled, and I the gratitude you show me right now, it means a lot to me, and I plan on keep on giving that back. So I just will try to be a better leader and better person going forward and grow with the Rock family and everybody else that I work with as well. And so what about you, Tilsa? Anything that you want to add?
Oh my God. Well, I'm so blessed to have met both of you guys, obviously.
Likewise.
I love the energy. I would probably say like focus on your self-development and getting rid of all the inner cuckoos and the inner bad talk because you never know. Like once you get rid of that past, you align yourself, you start meeting amazing people along the way and working together. So that's pretty much it for me.
Well said, well said. I agree with every goddamn word of it. And, you know, COVID is contagious, but so is happiness, motherfuckers.
Yes, it is.
So let's spread happiness. What I always say is that I've been able to get along with people of all different races and genders and all this just by like starting from a position of respect, knowing that people need acknowledgement and dignity and just being nice to them. Because like if I'm going to come into contact with you, do I want it to be confrontational or do I want it to be friendly? I'd rather have it be friendly. It's such a positive direction going to, hi, how are you? Good morning. After you, sir. You know, right this way. You know, or whatever. You go ahead of me in line or let me cover your coffee or whatever, right? When you have a fucking COVID mask to order your coffee or whatever at the Dunkin' or whatever, like I'll order it for you. What do you want? You know what I mean? It's just little ways to see those opportunities, those entrepreneurial opportunities of kindness. You know, take them. Be good to people. Need to be acknowledged. You know, because of everything that they're going through and everything they did to be there in that position that day. And I like to give it to them. I like to get to know people and their story and the relationship with the world and how they got to where they're at. So I'm always kind to everybody, and it's one of the few things that we can do that we can control, right? We can't control who the man or the president is, right? It could be fucking Trump or Biden or whatever, Putin's invading Ukraine. But one thing we can do is just continue to be nice to each other and promote the idea of freedom in the broadest sense that everybody can pursue any opportunity they want. They will not be discriminated against. They will have a fair opportunity to do it, and that division kills us. You know what I mean? We can't stand for that. So, you know, as much as you can to reach across whatever lines it is of division, do it. You know, good people make other people good, and so be good to yourself, be good to your family, be good to your community, and tune in next time to the Blessed Life University podcast. We love every single one of you guys. Be good and fucking be a good light to the world and to yourself and your family. We love you. Peace out.
Thank you.
That was amazing.
Da-da-da-da-da.